In a small village nestled among towering mountains, there lived a wise elder named Omar, renowned for his love of reciting and teaching the Quran. Next to his home lived a young boy named Khalid, who was 10 years old. Khalid often passed by Omar's house and would hear him reciting the Quran in a melodious voice that filled the surroundings with serenity and peace. One day, Khalid decided to approach Omar and asked, "Omar, why do you read the Quran every day? Isn't it enough to read it once and be done with it?" Omar smiled and said, "Come with me, Khalid, and I'll tell you a story." Khalid sat beside Omar, and the elder began. Long ago, 2 men lived in this village. One was named Sa'id, who read the Quran daily and reflected deeply on its meanings. The other was named Mahmud, who only read the Quran on special occasions without pondering its verses. One day, the village was struck by a severe drought. The rain ceased for months, the rivers dried up, the crops withered, and the people were overcome with worry and despair. Omar paused briefly, then continued. One night, Sa'id went out into the desert and prayed to God with utmost humility. He recited verses from the Quran that called for reliance on God and patience. As he recited, the skies opened up, pouring down rain abundantly. The drought ended, and life returned to the village. Meanwhile, Mahmud remained in despair, unable to comprehend the reason behind the rain, for he had never reflected on the Quran or understood the power of prayer. Khalid looked at Omar with wide eyes and asked, "Does this mean the Quran brings blessings and goodness?" Omar replied, "Yes, my son. The Quran is not merely words we recite. It is a light that guides hearts, relieves worries, and brings sustenance and tranquility. The more you read it with reflection, the closer you feel to God, and the stronger its impact on your life." From that day forward, Khalid began reading the Quran regularly, pondering its meanings. Over time, the villagers noticed a positive change in him. He became calmer and wiser, and he started helping others and spreading goodness throughout the village. One night, as Khalid was reciting the Quran in the mosque, a stranger entered, looking weary and sorrowful. The man sat and listened to Khalid's recitation, then said, "I have lost my way and am far from my family, but your voice reciting the Quran has given me hope." Khalid continued his recitation, and when he finished, he prayed for the man to find guidance and return to his family. By morning, the man had found his way and returned safely to his village. When Omar heard the story, he said to Khalid, "Do you see, my son, how the Quran is a light that guides people and relieves their distress? Continue to read it and teach it to others, for it is the best companion in life." From that day on, Khalid became a role model of a faithful young man, living with a heart full of faith, and reminding everyone of the Quran's blessings and its power to transform lives.